Alright folks, so today we're messing with the 6.0 again. This is the mechanical fan clutch out of a 1997 7.3 with the adapter so that I can connect it to the water pump in this truck. You know, this fan clutch is like $70 something. I had to pay for shipping because the other one with free shipping was like delivery in 2 to 4 weeks. And then this adapter, I was also able to get this off of Amazon. I think it was $40 something. I need to get this fan shroud out, and to do that I got to take these off the sides of the radiator. Used a 8mm socket and my handy dandy Milwaukee Ugga. And then I took a 7mm to release the hose clamp here. That's as far as I've gotten right now. I'm gonna get my clip remover. I'm gonna pull these up. I'm gonna pull this power wire out of the way over here, and then I should be able to rock this back and pull this up. So give me a second and we will be right there. Alright, so I pulled the battery cable out of the way, and oh wow, looks like some dirt daubers made some nests on the inside of this. So according to the interwebs, oh wait, I got to take out these two right here. Let me see. There's a couple of screws here. They're also 8mm. Ugga. Okay. Alright, so I decided that I'm going to take my radiator out because of all the dirt dauber nests and stuff on it. I'm just obstructing airflow through the radiator. So disconnected the lower radiator hose, and now I need to disconnect these transmission coolant lines, and let me get those done and I will be right back. Alright, so to remove your transmission coolant lines, you're going to need one of these little thingamajiggers, or you're going to need to go down to your local parts store and rent one. You basically wrap this guy around the hose, stick it in there, push it in, and then you pull the whole hose out. Easy peasy. Alright, and I put these little Ziploc bags on mine and zip tied them up, try to hold as much of that transmission fluid as possible. But I'm gonna go and take the top shroud out now. Get this joker out. I know I was trying to do it earlier, but I'm gonna get it now and get that radiator pulled out. I'll be back. Alright. Okay. Oh, that's how you do that right there. Get your pry bar in on both sides. Use the radiator for leverage. Alright, so let's get this shroud out of the way. Alright, so with everything disconnected, this should, in theory, just come right out. So let's go ahead and pull out. Alright, so now this is why I wanted to pull it out, because I mean, look at all this gunk and stuff in here. I'm gonna give this a proper washing out, because we do a lot of towing with our camper. Obviously, you know, you're watching this on our on our RV adventure couple channel on YouTube. But that's the whole purpose of all of this that I'm doing. We got home, you know, and I wanted to make sure that the truck was tip-top so that whenever we go back out, you know, we wouldn't have nearly as many problems. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this shroud off, and well, I gotta get the fan out first and then the shroud off, I believe. Alright, one sec. Alright, so I'm gonna get this fan shroud out of the way. I got my 15 millimeter socket, got my extension, and my 1/2 inch ratchet. So let's go ahead and poke on in here and alright, so that's one. Let's put these over here. Got another one right here. Pretty sure there should be 4 of them. There we go. That's 2. Alright, and yep, there's 2 on the bottom. Alright, so I'm gonna go underneath and get these 2. My hands, I'll see if I can't get you guys a view. One sec. Alright, so the other 2 on the bottom, there's 1, and can't really, 2. I'm gonna get those out real quick. I'm not gonna be able to film while I'm doing this, but it's the same socket. I just take the extension off and let's pop those open. I'll be back. Okay, so after loosening this shroud, I turned it to where I would have a nice open space right here, because whenever it's fit the correct way, there's a bunch of fins and stuff in the way, and you can't like get a wrench down in there. And I got this big ass monkey wrench, put it on there, and I got this pry bar going in the hole, holding that piece of that pulley so that I can turn the monkey wrench. And once you get the nut cracked, it's just pretty simple. You can well, let me get the orientation of this fan shroud back the way it goes, and then you just turn it counterclockwise and the fan comes out. Alright, set that over here. Fan shroud, another piece of it. Get my pry bar out. I'm gonna keep him over here just in case I need him for something. Alright, so I ordered 2 new Serpentine belts because these are pretty cracked. But I'm going to go ahead and loosen both of these up and get these belts off of here, and then I'm going to work on getting this water pump out because I want to check to make sure it's the upgraded water pump. I'll be back. Alright, shit. Alright, so for these belts, you just get your 1/2 inch drive. Stick her in there like that, and you can loosen your belt that away right there. I believe they're supposed, I can't do this while I'm holding the camera at the same time, but I believe it's supposed to have a little latch so that it'll stay open. Alright, well, so if you're trying to get to your water pump, a good idea is to keep your belt on before you, while you loosen these nuts right here, or else it's just going to spin on you. Makes it a whole lot easier. Just a little tip. Alright, mine was stubborn as hell. Even with WD-40 all over it and the belt on, I had to throw the pry bar back in there to get those nuts loose. I'm going to get those out and get that cover off. Alright, and once you get that cover off, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. Take that off. There is a an O-ring on the other side of it, and the propeller. This is actually the older version water pump. I already took it off and checked it out. It's plastic, but it still looks pretty brand new, so I'm just gonna send it for now, and if I have problems later on, then I'll spend the money to upgrade it to the bulletproof, or an off-brand of like the bulletproof or something. Now I'm gonna put that pulley cover back on there. I kind of have to wait for my new belts because I ordered 2 new belts for the dual alternator system. And then once that's on, then I can put my, well, it's another video, but it'll be the back flush for the oil cooler. And once I get everything back together, we should be ready to fucking hit the road again, folks. Alright, so we're gonna get, well, not with this socket, we're not. Probably 12. But we're gonna get these nuts off the back here so that we can work on putting our new fan clutch, our mechanical fan clutch in here, instead of this old, or well, electric fan clutch. Alright, in case you're keeping track, it is a 13mm. Happens when you get in a hurry, huh? That one's corroded in there. And voila! Fan is off your fan clutch. Alright, so, new fan shroud, mechanical clutch, line up the holes. If you can't find the holes, put a little hair around them. Put in the nuts, bolts. good. Alright. Alright. We got our new belts in. You may have one. I have two. I've got two alternators. So I went ahead and left the fan and everything off so that it would just be easy installation. So your truck should have a diagram right here by your latch. And it will tell you, focus, how your bolt should go. So follow your diagram, put your belt on correctly, and I will be back. Alright, so I got the main Serpentine belt on, and now it's just a quick and easy little installation of this guy. This belt that goes here and down here. Alright, so you put the mechanical fan on the same way you took your old fan off. You just screw it counterclockwise, and then you put your pry bar down there on this pulley, and then you put your pipe wrench right there on that nut. Right, focus! Right there on that nut, and turn it clockwise to tighten it, and everything from there on is in reverse. I'm gonna slap my radiator back in, and then I'm going to put my shroud, connect my hoses, do one more flush. I bought a bunch of distilled water. I'm gonna do one more radiator flush with just distilled water, and then I'll be putting in my my concentrated Motorcraft Gold. Alright, so from there, just repeat the disassembly process backwards, obviously, and then you got a new fan clutch going.